Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our president, Mr. Lorenzo Cagnoni, and our general manager, Mr. Ugo Ravanelli, I'd like to welcome you all to Vicenzaoro. We like to define Vicenzaoro as the jewelry boutique show because it has all the excellence of a boutique and the emotion of a show. And when we talk about emotion, we talk about experience. And experience means to get connection, to get connected with your network, to create new connections, but also to get inspired. Inspired by new products, new designs, emerging talents, and new trends that we aim to bring here. And when we talk about trends, we talk about TRENDVISION. And TRENDVISION is a Vicenzaoro independent observatory about global jewelry and precious forecasting. So we are here today with TRENDVISION to give you an update on consumer profiles. And now let me introduce you to Ms. Paola De Luca, founder and creative director of TRENDVISION. Thank you.
So I want to start. It's not by coincidence. Because starting from the bottom and the back is very important. Never forget where we are from and where we are coming. So sometimes I like to, bring new elements to the presentations, which are not just about, speeching, but thinking. This is a think tank. For me, it's not just about telling you what's going on, but hopefully we help everybody to think for the next season of our businesses. My apologies this morning, I'm not in top shape. I have a very bad flu, so I'm drugged, honestly. It feels good, I'll tell you that, but I'm not really not very clear-minded, so I might not be great. But I hope I will entertain you for some time, not much, because your time is too precious. And so today we are talking about consumer updates, but it's my, let's say, custom to kind of give you a little bit of a brief of the season, which I think is more interesting. Because just to let you know, this presentation, this report is free, it's complimentary, it's downloadable on the app and or the website. And so you can download it and get these informations with time, so there is no need for me to go in details. But I want to start with the market. I mean, first of all, very important, like news. A few days ago, there was the GEM Awards in New York. The GEM Awards it's been promoted as to be a very important international platform. There are many around, of course, but that one is actually very iconic. Actually, I missed it. Anastasia Webster called me and said, why you're not coming? I said, well, I have to Vicenza, I have to go to... but anyway, the winners, the reason why I want to start, because I want to see the surrounding, what's happening in the market, because me telling you these things without connecting it with the market, it might just be completely, again, disconnected. So the design awards were given to Fernando Jorges, which was the first winner. The second nominee was Silvia Furmanovic. The third was Valerie Messica. The Marketing and Communication Award was given to Tiffany. You're saying, well, but Tiffany, not really, because Tiffany in 2017 was listed to have lost their luster as a brand. So Tiffany lately, in the last decade, lost the luster with the new generation. It wasn't hot anymore, even though the blue box meant something, still, but wasn't really performing in sales. So the new management realized that something has to be done. So that's why I start from the bottom sometimes, just to say, hello, let's not take for granted that who we are as a brand, as a fair, as a designer, as a professional, will always remain that way. Because unless I don't work, I don't move, I don't study, I don't doubt myself, there is not success. So even the big, tycoon like, Tiffany, was losing. And luckily in the last, I would say during the last quarter, they were up 20% since the last 17 years published by The Guardian. Definitely their communication, their visual communication, their marketing communication is talking to millennials. But let me focus for a second when we talk about millennials, because everybody talks millennials. It's in fashion to talk about millennials. Millennials are really going from 1980 to 1995. It's 15 years. So what about the people born in 75, and what about the one they are born after 95? I mean, what about the people that were born in 75 or 78? Are they dead? Are they not existing? No, it's really the truth. I mean, it's like, so it's stupid to follow a word, the buzz, which actually since like a few seasons, me among other professionals, not that I never feel I'm a genius or a unique individual. I'm just a nerd that studies and spend all their life studying and doing this job. I don't know why, but I'm enjoying it, so, and they pay me, so I keep doing it. But the bottom line is, it's what is a millennial versus a millennial mindset. I mean, a millennial mindset could be any of you in the audience. You could be 60, 70, 90, you could be 17. Because at the end, the millennial mindset is someone that have embraced the actual digital era and is surfing this era. That's who's a digital mind, a millennial mindset. Having a smartphone and just chatting, it doesn't make you digital enough. What makes you digital, it's playing with these incredible platforms and telling stories, your messages, whatever it is. Could be about your community, your belief, your value, could be scouting, meeting, dating, buying, spying. Because that's what I do for a living. I spy. I spy phenomenon, emerging phenomenon, that they are there. The difference between people like me and you, that I observe with an analytical eye versus just looking, say, it's pretty or it's not pretty. I'm just saying, why do they do this? What does it mean? Let me see how it's linked to the community. Let me see how these people are communicating, what they're buying, where they're from, how are they dressing, what they believe, what is their hashtag, their highlights, what they believe in life, and what attracts them. That's what I do. I'm a voyeur. That's what I am. I mean, and we analyze. So the GEM Award gave the awards to, the most interesting thing is there are two Brazilian designers. Fernando Jorges is based in London, but he's Brazilian. So is Silvia Furmanovic. But now, what is interesting about why they pick certain people, it's why people found them amusing, okay? And I think now, despite or regardless of the positioning of the market that you're in, because, you know, in the audience I have from designers, manufacturers, retailers, press, we have it all. And you guys, everybody needs different informations. Now, the bottom line is that, you know, design and culture and values starts here, okay? And then everything goes down. So values, belief, need, what we need or don't need starts here. And everything goes down. So from belief and values, what do I mean by belief and value? What do I like? Why do I buy a certain jewel, and why do I enter a shop versus another one? Why am I attracted to a website versus another one? Why am I attracted to this person's versus? That's values. That's what it is. And then based on what I believe, I'm attracted to a certain jewel, and et cetera, et cetera. Now then we have, let's say, high-end, high design or couture or whatever. Then we have, let's call it pret-a-porter or bridge, and then we have core, mass. But even if you are not selling Fernando Jorges, you know, people here, they want somehow something that looks like that. You know what I mean? That's what it is. They might not wear a couture conversation ear cuff piece that everybody turns, but a vague, dilute concept of that, they like it. So you need to know these informations because you need to understand what's coming. So as a forecaster, I can't tell you what to do, not because I'm not an astrologist. We're not astrologists, nor we don't predict. We give you information and then you have to package. So this is very important. Another thing, and I want to end with the GEM Award, was not only Fernando Jorgetz, but also Silvia Furmanovic. She's also Brazilian, Sao Paulo based. She has the unique style of mixing techniques, and tomorrow there is the Legor, is technology, jewelry design technology direction, very interesting, which I want to spend a few words on it. And she was, basically, she comes from a family, they were doing precious object, sacred precious object for the Vatican and others. So she mixed mercury, which is intarsio, of wood and other materials. So everything was sacred with jewelry. Now, how do I read this? I read this, first of all, design is going into more and more craftsmanship, recuperating and taking back all important craftsmanship that is being lost. Consumers are going towards more fascinating, unique and art. There is recently, I discovered this beautiful magazine, Canapa magazine, which is a beautiful magazine that talks about art and all culture. So art is becoming more and more, it's always been, of the ultimate luxury, because art is emotions. Art is emotion and is reflecting values, and more in digital era. Christian Dior, there was just today on BOF, Business of Fashion online, the magazine for professional, which you can download it, at least even for free. You just get the title. Christian Dior just presented men's collection, artware, all paintings, blending from the past. This is very interesting because either you sell a stud earring in diamonds, or you sell a little chain, or you are like selling whatever. Keep this in mind, because either you are following this, or you're going to be copied 2 years later, taking the crumbs of the market that everybody else have left out. So remember that. So I thought was interesting. Another interesting part, the Metropolitan Museum, Jewelry, the Body Transformed, is an exhibition that there is now at the Met. Now, why do you care? Now, there is also a beautiful exhibition at the museum here in Vicenza, and I'd like you to go and see it. Alba Cappellieri does a fantastic job, so all the designers and the curator, they are working here. But I wanted to talk about the Met because they are displaying, if you are lucky, or you can just go online and download the beautiful press release and images. It's interesting because in this, let's say, metamorphosis of the world, even jewelry, they have to find a new value, a new positioning. So the Met has created these interesting sections which are called the divine body, the regal body, the transcendent body, the alluring, the resplendent. And everything is associated to jewelry related to culture, from primitive culture to most recent culture to different time in histories. And what makes it interesting is the metaphor of intangible values with jewelry. Now, I know that some of you, when they come to this seminar, they go, wow, she's talking big. What am I going to do? I have to buy chains. What does it mean? You know, we're going to explain it later. But I have to, I have to make you understand that if you are a brand and you have to come up with a marketing campaign, if you are Tiffany, or you are whatever company you are, could be a global brand, a small brand, it could be a single designer, you have to communicate, you have to understand the mechanism between consumer and the market. And it's becoming more vertical. It's actually vertical. because consumers are talking directly to the designers and the brands. And the designers and the independents, they are becoming more interesting than the brands and the factories at the shows. I'm sorry that I say that, I'm honest. Because the stories are more authentic and real. So after that, I'm having your article, David. Actually, I'm very proud because in the crowd, I have all my wonderful friends, editors that collaborate with me, and we are a wonderful international family, and I'm very happy. So I will go. I want to say a few things about, we recently, we're working on a very beautiful editorial project we are not going to disclose now, but we have interviewed some of the most, some interesting, high-profile professionals. And just about brands, after I talked about this thing that I think are interesting, from Stephen Webster, Jennifer Ibner is in the audience. She's a New York-based editor, Philadelphia, New York-based editor, important blogger, international blogger. And we have interviewed, she has interviewed for us and together, few important people. One being Stephen Webster. Even Stephen, is in the moment of, changing generation. Is included his daughter, and they are now working very strongly on, communication and really bringing new energy, new to the brand, and working with digital. And so the word is speak your truth, be authentic. Guy Bedarida, which was like owner and also designer of John Hardy. Before that, he was Van Cleef & Arpels. He bought, like a couple of years ago, Marina Bulgari, very important, iconic brand. He talks about authenticity. But what do we mean about authenticity? Being real could be ethical. Now, today, Steve Jobs is talking, he's creating a list of sustainable and clear and ethical companies. As well, dig into the past is a fruitful exercise for future jewelry creation. So, the future is a reflection of today, but today is a reflection of our past. So it's very important to talk about that. And it's, again, this is to me is a think tank. It's a place where I'm giving you information, and then I'll give you the fish. But if you don't know how to fish, the fish is not interesting. I can give you the result, but if you don't know how to decode the result, it's not interesting. Another line which I liked very much from these interviews, it's Carol Capeci from Earth on Fire. Carol is the CEO, right? Is the CEO of Earth on Fire, very important company in the United States, brand diamond focus for all the, and she's a very strong woman, and she's basically saying when we are facing the seasons, we have to buy. Of course, we need the stackable rings, the pendants, the hoop, and the stud earrings, because those are going to be significant part of our business. So keep your assortment classic, yet still feel the trends. Follow the trends. You have to understand, by trend doesn't mean the niche, but you must be aware of what's happening now. It's very important. So maintain a classic approach while still staying in touch with current trends. And they, of course, right now, they are strongly working on Art Deco infused looks, which Art Deco, we know from few seasons, is very important. So I just gave you a little overview of just to show you what's going on in my mind as a professional. We go from the whole world to really see what's happening, and everything makes sense. So now we talk briefly about the consumers, and then the detail you download the document and you do your research. But what is important for us? We wish to give you a methodology. So forecasting is not an answer. Forecasting translates into strategy. At the end of the day, you do your own strategy. You know your own path, your own truth as a company. We as professionals, we give you a methodology, way to approach from top to bottom of the business, basically. Antonini 100 years company is in the house. Is in the house. Yes, 100 years. celebration. It's an honor, Maestro, it's an honor, thank you. So season 2020 overview. Well, you know, we are definitely, it's repeating, but it's happening. I mean, it's like there is a tremendous social shift globally, from political, environmental, everywhere, from America to Asia. This shift is bringing like social shift, requiring them to society, consumer, to develop coping mechanism, a new way of living these uncertainties. And this uncertainty also, of course, goes for the jewelry industry. Tiffany, for instance, just to go back to what I said before, they had a new politics, is to lower the price of their jewelry, but not like lowering the quality, to review their position in terms of, also because they are a global brand, but they are not a niche brand. They do like, it's a global / almost mass market in a way. I mean, they're not Antonini, you know what I mean? They are not Silvia Furmanovic. They sell volume. So volume needs to review their positioning. So they're bringing collections more often, lowering their prices. At the same time, designers, like for instance, the new enfant prodige Emmanuel Tanvir from Van Cleef, 25 years old, the new enfant is doing stuff in jewelry in aluminum and precious stones. Designers are playing more and more with innovative material, and tomorrow there is the symposium, which I think you guys, the designers, the manufacturers, I wish to have they created, because usually, and this is a note, a little bit of critical note to the technology world, they are usually very boring. You know, they have all these engineers, which are beautiful and very handsome men, don't take me wrong, but they explain all this technical aspect, but at the end of the day, who has to use the technology are the creative people. So they have to communicate. I want to have, you know, in the Cosimo Vinci and other people, creative genius minds that puts together mood board and play with the new technology, showing to other designers how to use the technology. Because sometimes there is a technology that comes out, but we don't know. And it comes out 5 years later just because no one knew how to use it in a clever way. Until one day, sometime by chance, a designer starts using it, it looks great, and everybody follow it. So I think that, believe it or not, there is a lack of communication. So we are talking on socials, but what the heck are we talking about? Because we are not really talking much. That's the truth. So materials are becoming more sustainable, brands more honest, and like I said, communication more transparent. I would really support you. I mean, actually, I really strongly suggest you to start looking at socials and online more from a professional with an analytical eye than just being passive, because there are so many incredible informations that they are, and discovery of, from designer to technology to way of selling to also way of doing campaign, and it's very, very interesting. So in this world, we are saying anxiety is rising, increasing the demand for indulgence, length, and the electrolyte. So now we're getting into the consumer. And now the consumers we have introduced these consumers in September, but now because in June we are already presenting at Couture in Vegas, Overview 2021. Like I always say, and I repeat, sometimes maybe I'm boring, that it looks very far, but it's not. Because season 2020, you have to present it in June, either in Vegas or in Hong Kong, okay? Because buyers will buy for fall winter 1920 in 6 months. That's what it is. And, you know, so, and in January 2020, which is like, oh my God, it's in a year from now. Yeah, but it's not, because by the time you design, by the time you come up with the campaign, by the time you do the prototype, by the time, it's time that you have to have goods. And sometimes you are late for deliveries. So this is the cycle of basically production. I have my friend there, Dennis, taking pictures. Hi, Lauren. I have a very big, large family in the world, don't I? So, but anyway, so that's what it is. So that's 2021. So intellectual rebel, the spiritualist, the dualistic traveler, the fidgeter, and the disruptive. So again, this world is, beauty has changed. Models are not picked to be the most pretty. Everything is a little bit, rules are broken finally. And jewelry and collection are not sold matchy-matchy again. So the intellectual rebel is really someone that it's breaking the rule. They are not necessarily, they don't want to be completely plastic looking. It's finally, it's a real, a millennial mindset. It's being unique and different. So the consumer is forefront of a progressive movement paving the way for new ideas. I would say it's globally. I would also say that there is a push for more progressive society to embrace the difference in ability, sexual orientation, gender, cultural background, and religious belief. This element of religion, it's important because it's becoming more spiritual. And in the also, let's say, product categories, you will have a demand from either religious, let's say, charms and stuff, as well as spiritual, from crystal to something that is meaningful for someone. Stay tuned for radiant and cosmos and universal, because in the following seasons, it will be stronger and stronger. From India to America, companies are going in that directions. I've seen a couple of design competition and some consumer market research that is being done privately, that we have seen that consumers are going in that direction in what is, let's call it, a guiding light. Guiding light as faith, not related to a God, not related to someone, related to a belief, because we are a little lost, because we don't have money, we lost, political confusion from North America to Europe, immigration, we don't know how to integrate, but it's also bringing new opportunities. You know, a multi-ethnic society is bringing new needs, new taste. So until now, maybe in Italy, people just bought mainly for Italian, mainly for white or Caucasian, mainly. Now, no, we are a multi-ethnic society. People like different color of gold, different taste, and that's very important. That creates an interesting environment. So in this world, it's definitely, as you can see, asymmetry is very important. This geometry that could be inspired from, 60s, but also deco. Enamel is growing and is becoming this is Steven collection. But I'll go very fast because I want you to look at this with time and really think about it. I am more into the abstract introduction. The spiritualist. Spirituality is the new luxury, and by luxury means time to think, time to take for yourself, time to take a yoga class, or to take a walk, or to take a hike, time to be with your family. That's luxury. That's what luxury is about. And spirituality in that sense is to look within. And I think this is the most beautiful. So a retro-modern approach to digital era enables this consumer to pass through the fascination and Oriental culture full of mysteries and tradition. So definitely Asia, from India to China to Japan, also Korea. First of all, Asia right now, it's it. From an economy perspective. I mean, India and I don't have to tell you that. I mean, it's happening, That's where the economy is at. Yes, North America is very strong and all that, but the cash flow is happening there, and most of the Indian and the Chinese are going to America and vice versa America. There are problems now with Trump and all the thing in China. Apple lost some shares, the stock in the stock market share. So when we think about, oh my God, but do we care about the stock market? But I don't care, I sell jewelry. Well, you know, I think we should care. If Apple is not selling enough, it's a problem. You know, all this is connected and it's very interesting. So, religion gains a whole new meaning and spirituality increasingly takes center stage. In a few words, this consumer is seeking wisdom through learning, patience, kindness, forgiveness, and humility. So, values are changing. And these values, but you can download this, you can take a photo, but it's free. You can download it on the app. It's even better. So, and just to go here very quickly, it's, you know, Constellation, which are not new. It's like, Constellation again? Well, what about butterflies? Do we want to talk about butterflies? We had butterflies for 10 years. I was so bored about butterflies, right? I mean, it's enough already with butterfly. Every time you want to take it out, you have to keep it in. Because someone is going, you don't know, it's like, are they late or are they ahead? I'm lost by now, but whatever. So also when you're aging, everything seems like it's coming back. But the truth is, that's not coming back, it's evolving, it's different. Even though the 70s or deco is like, but everything is coming back. It's not coming back. Is viewed from a different perspective. It's different and has a different angle. So Constellation will be in all this work of dark nature. So the butterflies are now replaced by dark, enchanted nature, from spider, for weird, bugs, unusual, something a little bit more obscure and interesting. That's really like what is replaced. It's not about being cute, it's about being mysterious. That's really the new direction. Is my computer moving? Yes. Now this traveler, I would say that, of course today we are kind of all travelers, even though not really everybody's traveling, but the dualistic traveler, and then after we're going to go to the phygital, and phygital, it really stands for physical and digital. It's about, digital and analog reality. Digital being the computer and online, analog being earth, land, physical. What's real, what's not. So the dualistic traveler is traveling between past, present, and future. But he really is a time traveler. Is fascinated by neoclassic and history and organic and the past. And as a paradox, they are usually millennials. Millennials are fascinated by the past, by historical, by vintage. David has been going to the auctions of Geneva, and see, I remember, I know, you should share, see, I'm sharing, right? And the auction in Geneva, and all these auctions are becoming more and more famous and popular. Why? You say, do I care about the auctions? Yeah, you have to care. Because if the Marie Antoinette pearl is being purchased for how many millions? How much? 36,000 million dollars. The day after, the pearls skyrocketed. The price skyrocketed. So you like her? I don't care. We just careless about everything. We don't follow this. Paola De Luca is crazy, which I am. But the truth of the matter is, these information are relevant in the market. And pearls, which are in demand, not only the round pearls, but also the Baroque, the cash and all that. Gurham just came out with this fantastic collection. Everything, whatever was the waste of jewelry, diamonds, pearls, gemstones, minerals, now is wanted because it's unique, it's rare, it's one of a kind. You will never get it again. So that's very important. So the dualistic traveler is basically this kind of traveler, consumer. Is a poet. And then very quickly I was saying, stones that were not really liked or appreciated. Now all of a sudden they're hot, they're used, they're inserted. We were going to see a coming back of cameos and coins, but it's not going to be the same. It's going to be different. It's going to be reinterpreted. We're going to have the Manuel Tanvir, which is going to do it maybe with aluminum or something else, or it's going to be completely someone new that doesn't have anything to do with the jewelry industry, then is going to break the rules and make it in an innovative way. And Lauren is going to wear it. How's that, honey? So that's it. And the digital. And the digital, as I said before, is this really world, this consumer, then is mixing. But at the end of the day, we are all in a way digital. Now, when we are, let's say, classifying or clustering this consumer in this box, is to give you really kind of a strong, immediate reaction of how it looks. But at the end of the day, we may be a little bit of all of that. But this digital consumer is about digital psychedelia. It's getting lost in virtual reality, and colors are bright. And it's about, again, breaking the rules. Is a couture that is really, is a mix of sportswear and athleisure, and is very interesting. So the digital consumer is living a future where digital and physical worlds seamlessly merge together, constantly connected. What I like about this direction is that it's a little bit science fiction. It's unexpected. And science fiction translates into, in jewelry, I don't know if it's going to move. I want to go here. It goes into colored metal, PVD, physical vapor deposition, colored metal, alternative material, bright color, blue on blue, but also, for instance, opals, which are now interpreted, in many other ways and associated. Ciao Paola, sei pa? Vedi? I know. Opals, they are really a digital stone because it reflects the environment. I mean, it's very interesting. It's kind of a stone that morphs. It's like mimetica. It changes. And if you associate it next to blue, it becomes blue. If it's next to green, it's green. Of course, there are opals that they're more, let's say, toward one direction. But opals are magic. It's a really digital stone. And this is what I think is very interesting. And it's not by coincidence that it's being popular, because it's versatile, it adapts. And so is this thing of what we call, digital, psychedelia. Or, I think it's this multicolor, and once again, the asymmetry and the mixing of material is very important. Last but not least, the disruptive, the breaking the rules of men. Now, what's happening right now? Just to say, of course, this is to provoke. Fashion is about provoking. And don't think, and fashion, in jewelry, they have to speak the language of fashion, but not fashion as disposable. Fashion to communicate to consumers. You can have, simple tennis bracelet or a simple chain, but it's the attitude that makes the difference. And jewelry are not, we always say, not necessary. We don't need jewelry. We don't. We need water, we need bread, but we don't need jewelry. But we need emotions, we need storytelling, we need dreaming. So when the world of fashion tells the story, sometimes it's strong. But what is important is the message behind. So the disruptive man is about breaking the rules. There is a new movement, the Me Too movement, the new feminist movement, very important. You're like, well, we are in the third millennium. Do we need a new movement? It's interesting. I wouldn't want to talk about this now. I don't think it's the place. But I think that all these phenomena are affecting society. And so men, they are becoming more feminine in a way, which they've always been, thank God. Maybe not in public. No, maybe society wasn't expecting this, let's say, style or, let's say, status. But at the end of the day, new generation are more comfortable to be nice fathers, or nice husbands, or nice lovers. And women, I would suggest that women, when we are in power, to be more women than trying to be a man. I think women, that when we have a chance, and we had the chance, and we will have the chance of being in power, we should be more sweet, because that's a and down, you know. Teach the men that that we can be strong by being soft and nice. And that translates into jewelry. And so this man, you know, it's more comfortable, and he's wearing jewelry. So the season, of course, is about primitivism and tribal and texture and sensuality. Art, like I said, look at the collection. Right now there is Men's Fashion Week in Milano, Paris, Fendi is out. It's very important what's happening right now, and it's giving you an indication. The phenomenon of men's jewelry from Europe to India to China is very important. More companies are making, as you can see, men's jewelry, and within this world there are very important visual codes. With this last slide, I end my presentation. All this information are complimentary. You can download it from the website. We'll be around. We'll be doing webinar online, and you'll stay tuned. We'll bring an interesting surprise. And I thank you all for attending. I don't know why you think I'm interesting, but I thank you. I thank you for coming and attending. And I thank all my wonderful friends, which are talented, and they bring good energy to this business. Grazie. Grazie a voi. Thank you. Happy New Year.